comic book fans, and welcome to another suddenlycomics.com video. And I'm delighted to announce the second The Price Variance show. Alan isn't too sure about the name, so we might change it going into the future. He's a bit worried that Canadian variants aren't worth as much as UK variants. So the first half of this was on Alan's show. And this is the second half. So if you want to see the first half, you need to go and connect to Allan. I'll put a link down below so you can link to the first part of this show. So today we've got some interesting stuff. So last time we did comics that we picked because of the covers. Now we're doing comics we picked because of the story. We've also got a round of Guess Who. I've got to say, Alan, I did my one on Alan's show and he got it right. So I'm under a bit of pressure now. If I get this wrong, it's going to be 1-1. And I've got a feeling he's going to do something strange like Betty and Veronica, and I'm going to have no idea. Right. So, and also we did one spec each on Alan's show. They were great specs and they were cheap pickups, so you need to go and check those out, and we're going to do a spec each on this show. So we're going to start with a good read, and Allan, you're up.
So again, I'm sticking with the golden age. Okay. So you got to bear with me a little bit on that. I'm going to show you a book from the golden age that I love. Okay, this is a book that I love. Even if you can't read, you can love this bok too. So that's how great of a read it is. So I'm just going to show it. I had to bring it over. Here's the book. It's junior, I believe it's junior 13.
Wow.
And I'm going to take it out of the plastic here so you can see a bit better. This is it, junior 13, very pricey book. This one is anywhere from that $600 range to $1,200 range. There's just so many people collecting it. But the reason it's a great read is it's kind of like Archie with a bit of sexiness. So it's got that humor. It's a bit goofy. These girls somehow always seem to be getting into their lingerie. so there's a bit of that. It's just a fun, campy read. And it features the artwork of Al Feldstein, and he's known for headlight covers. So, you know, even if you can't read, you can definitely enjoy this book. So definitely, you know, just really great, good girl art. So
okay, and you can see that online, can you? You can get
yeah. That's what I was going to say. What you can actually do is there's a couple ways you can read this and all of the series. I'm going to actually bring one more book over. That I'm just going to grab it. I wanted to bring it over. Sorry, I had to. This is a collection of works. It's like a big, thick.
Oh, right. Okay. That's probably.
And you can buy this for about 24 to. It's listed at, the cover price is $50.
Yeah.
But it has all the juniors and sunnies, and it even has what's it called? Cloris Archer, which is another of these ones that Al Feldstein illustrated, and has a really nice history of Al Feldstein and his whole art journey. So this is a really great read.
That's probably what I'll look for.
This book, really great read. Like, really gives you an insight into not just Al Feldstein, but the whole like Fox Publishing, like how shady that was. It was super shady. Really? Basically, you would just find other comic book publishers that were doing well, and he'd be like, okay, I'm going to take that idea, make it sexy, and that's what we're going to make. That's what we're going to run with. It's just like, you know, Archie, make it sexy. That's the story. And he did that with everything, like Jungle Comics and all these different genres, where he would just basically rip off some other publisher that was doing well
and make it sexy.
Yeah, that was his whole plan. So it's kind of cool. It's gives
Okay, so my good read. So I did on Alan's channel, I did an Alan Moore comic. My second writer is probably my second, well, is equal first with Alan Moore, and it's Neil Gaiman.
Oh, wow.
We have, this is a Sandman special, number 1, and it's called Orpheus, and it retells the story of Orpheus in the underworld from a Sandman point of view. So in this comic, Orpheus is actually the son of Sandman. And it retells the classic tale, basically. Orpheus falls in love with a lady called Eurydice, and they're going to get married. And at the wedding, Eurydice gets bitten by a snake and dies. So Orpheus decides he's going to go into the underworld and retrieve Eurydice from the underworld. He does, and the head of the underworld says basically, okay, I like your story, your Sandman's daughter, I'm going to let you take her, but you mustn't look back before you leave the underworld. And as he's leaving, just as they're leaving, he looks back to look at Eurydice, and he loses her. And in this book as well, it's really horrific. Orpheus disowns Sandman as his father. He falls foul of the Bacchae, who are the followers of Bacchus, who lop his head off. But because he's been down to the underworld, he's immortal, so his head stays alive. Wow. And his head remains on a beach. And his father comes to see him, and he says, "Father, save me." And he says, "No, you disowned me. You're going to stay like that." So it's a really powerful read. Really great. It's actually a glow in the dark cover. This is from the 90s, so they had to do
they did everything back then.
So this is actually glow in the dark, and it still glows.
I didn't know it glowed in the dark. I have actually 3 copies of that book.
Oh, really? Okay.
Yeah. I'm a big Sandman fan.
I've got 2 copies of it. It's fantastic, and it's hugely undervalued. This is another. I didn't do this as a spec book, but this will go up when I think they might do an episode of the Sandman series of this, because Neil Gaiman loves his legends and myths.
Yeah. I'm a big fan of that story as well, just so you know. Like I would always tell that to my children when they go to sleep, that story of Orpheus.
Really? Doesn't it give them nightmares?
So the thing with just the myth about Orpheus is this, that he plays the flute or something. Like he plays an instrument.
He does. That's how he charms Satan or whatever it is.
All these so what he does is he plays that so beautifully that it makes all the plants grow. Okay. And when he loses his love, this is the myth story, all the plants die. So winter comes. Yeah. And so each year he goes to try to rescue his girl. And that's why you get the seasons, right? Okay. That's the whole mythology behind it. Nice. So I've always been a fan of that story. It's kind of a cool romantic story, and it's always like, oh, don't look back. Why do you look back? It's like, but he always does, and And there's the biblical connection as well, because it's a bit like Lot when he leaves Sodom and Gomorrah, and he looks back, and his wife turns to a pillar of salt. Yeah. So yeah, I love those stories. I think they're great. I'm a big mythology guy, history, mythology. I love that stuff. So that's a really good, awesome choice for a read. Right. So I guess what were you going to say? I was going to say you asked me. I was going to say you do your guess who now. So you're going to try and stump me. Okay, my guess who. Okay, what was my guess who? I did have. Oh yes. Okay. I have a stack of books here, and I'm like, what's my guess who? What's my guess who? I have no idea what my guess who is. Trying to get into your mind. I have 2 choices to pick from here. So okay. Since you watched my video, I can't do the one I was going to do. So I was going to do this one. I'm not going to do it though. This doesn't count.
No, okay. No,
Because you know what this is.
um,
Because you watched my video.
yeah, I did, but I can't remember what it is. So it's just as well you've just said that you're not going to do it.
Okay, well, this was Masters of the Universe.
Oh, that's right. Yeah. I did watch it. It's got that flash. I would have got it probably. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, so that's. I don't want to do that one. That doesn't count.
Okay. All
Nobody
right.
listen to that. Okay, this is the one. This is the one I'm going to do. This is Adventure Comics 293.
Okay. You're going to have to give me a clue because I don't know immediately off. Look.
Well, it isn't anything that's on the cover. So,
Oh, thanks.
but it does say, like, it does tell you, like, you could have guessed what it says up here.
Lex Luthor becomes a Bizarro. Oh, right. Okay. Is it
But
the first Bizarro?
It's the first Bizarro Lex Luthor, but that's not what I was looking for.
Oh, okay.
That's not the answer. So it's harder than that. You stumped me last time, so I got to mess you up.
I think you're gonna stump me. Is it the first appearance of Mr. Mr.
Oh, I know who you're talking about. Zika, that guy. No, it is not. He's actually on the cover of his Bizarro version.
Right.
It has nothing to do. Okay, I'm gonna give you a hint.
Okay.
This is a big hint.
Right.
Okay. Legion is my big hint. It says Legion there, so that's my big hint.
So Legion of super traitors. Right. Legion.
Yeah,
oh, right. So they're the bad. They're the sort of. So is it one of the Legion of super traitors?
Super Traders, that's not the first appearance. It's not their first appearance.
No. But is it one of them whose first appearance it is?
No. Is
it a super pet?
Oh my God, you got it. Legion of Super Pets. First Legion of Super Pets.
I think you helped me quite a lot there.
Yeah, that was a pretty big help. So Legion, I don't know. So yeah, Legion of Super Pets. Awesome, good guess. So yeah, so that's actually a pretty big spec as well, because they're going to come out with the Legion of Super Pets.
They are, yeah. That's a good spec. I don't know how much that is to pick up, but it's probably quite reasonable.
It's pretty reasonable, like $50.
Yeah, because it's a DC and DC Comics is just languishing.
Yeah, totally undervalued. Yeah. Right.
So I'll do my spec book.
Sure.
This is my. I did a spec book on Allan's channel. I'm going to do one here. Okay, I'm big on Fantastic Four, and one of the things I have been picking up is all the Fantastic Four annuals because I think they're undervalued. So I have got most of them now, and this is Fantastic Four Annual 3, and it's the marriage of Sue and Reed Richards, and there is just about every Marvel hero you can think of on the cover of this thing.
Awesome.
And this is still you can pick up a 6.0 for this for $150. This is from 1964. These annuals are highly undervalued. When the Fantastic Four come into the MCU, which they're going to do, these are just going to go loopy. This is actually the first appearance of two characters that I'm not that familiar with. You probably know them more, Hedy Wolf and Patricia Walker.
Okay. I'm not super familiar with them either.
No, okay, right. I thought you might be. I think these Fantastic Four annuals are still are highly undervalued, and I do think I think the Fantastic Four coming to the MCU. This is a book from 1964, so they're not that many of them around, and I think you can still pick them up pretty cheaply.
Yeah, that's a great spec. So do you want me to do my second spec?
Yes, go ahead.
So my second spec is actually kind of funny. Wait, where is it? Okay, wait, here it is. I have like all these stacks of comics in front of me. I'm like grabbing. It's actually one that just came out. And the reason I picked this book that literally just came out on Wednesday, the 21st, I guess, is I actually believe that this is one that you should pick up because it's going to be hot just for the fact that there's a new series. And it's Moon Knight.
Oh, right. Yeah, definitely.
I actually recommend this cover. This
Yeah.
is not, this is one of the variants.
Okay.
This is like, I kind of like this one. It's got that Americana kind of feel.
Yeah, I like
Uh,
that cover. Yeah.
yeah,
I have pre-ordered Moon Knight one, but I don't not that cover.
yeah. So there's actually, I actually brought a bunch of covers. Like there's a Scotty Young cover. So,
That's
and then
nice.
I don't have the A cover. I have to find it, but I don't have it with me. And then there's this cover. I actually like this cover a lot
That's
too.
nice as well. Yeah.
Yeah, but I recommend this book only because I think it's a good spec as a short-term spec.
Yeah, no, I agree.
And like sometimes like a lot of the stuff that I do is long-term specs. I kind of want to give like a little bit of variety and say, hey, this is a short-term spec. This is one of those books that once the show comes out, flip it because it's not going to hold its value beyond that. And it's just because of the fact that it's number one, it's the new series. There's a new series coming out on TV. That's really the whole spec. It's there's nothing really there. I think the older books are where the long-term spec
Yeah,
is.
I mean, I have been buying Moon Knight for the last year, the older books.
Yeah,
And I'd really quite like the character. And
yeah. Kind
and
of quirky.
he's a sort of second tier character.
Very much so. Very B tier.
But actually, I quite like the comic books, and I've been buying up all the old comics. So I've got the first. I think the other thing about him is his series are nice and collectible because he keeps ending. So
Yeah,
it's about 7 or 8 Moon Knight series because they have
yeah.
gone to episodes, so 30 or 40.
Yeah, they did have one that was a bit longer that ran to about
Yeah,
60.
The second series, Mark Spector Moon Knight, ran to number 60.
Yeah. So
I'm going to do, so you did 2 specs. I've got another good read, okay? And
okay.
like your spec book, it's actually a new comic, okay?
Okay.
I did Alan Moore, okay, and I did Neil Gaiman. I think
Okay.
this guy is the modern Alan Moore, Neil Gaiman, and it's James Tinian the fourth.
Okay.
And
yeah, I knew which one you were going to do.
nice house on the lake. I mean,
Yeah.
this is there's going to be 12 of these. This is issue 2. It's just come out. I've read both of these. It is fantastically written.
I haven't read number 2 yet. But
no, I've read number 2. It's just as good as number 1. It's not quite as good as number 1 because it hasn't got that shock thing at the end, but it's very, very clever. All these symbols at the top, representing each of the characters. It's really clever. Really cleverly written. The characterizations are great. The art's great on this and this is a great read. It's very rare I will read a comic and think I've really enjoyed that. And James Tinian the fourth, Something's Killing the Children, Department of Truth. He's doing the Joker in DC at the moment as well. This guy can't put a foot wrong at the moment. This is like Alan Moore in the mid 1980s. This guy is the best comic book writer I've come across since Alan Moore and Neil Gaiman.
Yeah, everything he touches, he's got the Midas touch right now. Everything he touches has just been amazing. Something's Killing the Children, Department of Truth. Just a really great writer. I've enjoyed everything so far that I've read from him, and his run on Batman was awesome too.
Yeah.
He's just brilliant. Really great guy. What can I say?
Yeah, but that's why, for me, I love it when I can buy a comic, I can read it and really enjoy the story. I like the artwork, and it's a good investment. For me, that's all 3 things about why I buy comics all together in the same thing. And Nice House on the Lake does that for me. It was like Stray Dogs, actually, that did it for me as well.
Yeah, that was a great read too.
Yeah, it was a great read, great artwork, and great investment. So, it's a tick.
Yeah, I'm not sure if I think Nice House on the Lake is already like a $20 book.
Yeah, no, the Nice House on the Lake #1, I bought about 10 issues of it, 10 copies, and it's I bought them all at cover price, and it's already $20. Yeah.
Yeah, it's crazy how quickly And Something's Killing Children is.
Oh, well,
is
that's just,
completely
I
exploded.
completely missed that because it
Oh,
was,
really?
yeah, because it was
I got that for cover.
really, oh, well
Yeah,
done. You've made a killing on that one then.
yeah.
Multiple copies or just single copies?
I'm buying it not to spec. I'm
Oh,
buying
you're
it to,
buying it for your collection, yeah.
yeah. So I only have one. Lately, I've been buying 2 copies of some comics just because I want to have giveaways. So, like, I had a couple issues of Department of Truth. I'm going to be giving away one on my
Oh, I
channel.
saw that, yeah.
Yeah, I actually, the funny thing is, I didn't realize how much that book had gone up.
It's gone
It's
crazy.
like, oh my, oops, I shouldn't have given this away. Oh well, we learn. So
Anyway,
yeah,
Alan, thanks very much for joining me here on the second price variant show. You can, as I said before, look below. You can link to the first episode of this, in which Alan and I compete. I'm going to give the round of Guess Who to Alan here because he gave me a lot of clues. So I think on Guess Who, it's 1-1 now. So we've got to have a decider. Alan, thanks very much.